Hello and welcome to this guide for OptiConnect, the versatile application for connecting and managing your Opticon Bluetooth low energy scanners, allowing you an easy way to manage your scanners and the scan data of all your Bluetooth low energy scanners. Whether you are a user using Android, macOS, iOS or Windows, the application is available on all platforms. So let's start with the first step, downloading the application. You can visit opticonnect.opticon.com, the link is in the description below, or take out the quick start guide of your Opticon Bluetooth low energy scanner, and there is a download location QR code on the back. If I take my phone and I take a picture of the QR code, I am automatically redirected to the Play Store for Android. If you're using an iPad or an iPhone, you are automatically redirected to the App Store, and on a Windows device you can download it from our website. Now that we have installed OptiConnect, we can start connecting scanners. I'm using the Bluetooth connection, so I need to make sure that Bluetooth is enabled on my device. I go to OptiConnect and I click on Pair Scanner. In order to start pairing, I will take the OPN 6000 and I will press down on the function key for a couple of seconds to put it in pairing mode. The LED here starts blinking, and in my list I can see the scanner is available for connecting. If you don't see it appear, it means that it's not in Bluetooth low energy mode. On the screen of the app, there is a Bluetooth low energy QR code that you can scan with your 2D scanner. If you're using a 1D Bluetooth low energy scanner, you will need a 1D barcode. You can refer either to the manual, to the OptiConfigure website, or to the quick start guide, and in the list you will find a BLE Bluetooth low energy OptiConnect serial. Simply scan that with your device and it will be able to connect. So let me do that with this scanner. It is now switched to Bluetooth low energy mode. It immediately appears in my list of available scanners. I click connect. I hear the beep that it has connected. It is now in my list of paired scanners. And now I have 2 devices connected to my OptiConnect app. Using Bluetooth, you can connect up to 8 devices simultaneously, allowing you easier access and an easier overview of all of your scanners. And if you're using the Windows application, you can also go for wired mode. For instance, if you don't have Bluetooth on your Windows device, simply plug in the USB data cable, plug it into your PC, and they will appear in your list. If you're using OptiConnect on one of our mobile terminals, the mobile terminal will be detected by the app as well. Now that we have connected our scanners, let's start managing them. I've returned to the home screen of the application and I can press the Manage Devices button. And in this list, I see all of the devices that I've connected. At this moment, 2. And if I click on it, I can see some more information on that particular scanner. It shows me its current battery level, its current name, and if I click the pencil icon, I can change that name. Serial number, the operating system version, the firmware version, and whether a firmware update is available. There's also a handy button called Locate Scanner, and if you have more than one scanner connected at the same time and you're not sure which scanner you're working with, simply click Locate Scanner. And the OPN in question starts beeping, the LED turns on, and I know exactly which it is. So I can press Stop Locating. To get even more management of that OPN, I can press the little cog icon at the top right of the device, and I get an entire list of all the options available. The first one is code options. For instance, enabled codes. I can turn on and off certain types of codes if I don't want to use them. Say you work in a warehouse where all of the information is stored in EAN 13 codes and you don't want any QR codes to be read erroneously, simply open 2D codes, switch off QR code, and you immediately hear a beep and a vibrate, which means that the scanner has already processed the setup. Then under code options there is scan options. For instance, the illumination mode. By default, the scanner has a floodlight, but I can disable it. There's a beep telling me immediately that it processed the instruction, and now the floodlight is gone. The same is for the aiming LED. I can turn it off, and now the green aiming bar is gone as well. Let's turn it back on. Once again, it reacts immediately. Then there is the indicator options. You've got a buzzer and a vibrator in the OPN 6000. I can turn both of them on or off. I can change the buzzer duration. I can change the buzzer type. I can change the duration of the vibration, whether or not it should work with a button press. All kinds of options. Then there is formatting. If you scan a code, you might want to place some more information at the start or at the end of your code. Those are called prefixes and preambles. Before the code, you have a total length of 12 characters available before the code, and with the suffix and postamble, you have 12 after the code available as well. Then there is volume. If I want to change the volume of the onboard buzzer, I can use this. Once again, immediate feedback. And with LED, I can change the default color around the scan button from blue to, for instance, red, or to green, or any color in between. For a full list on all of the options available and a more in-depth look in every single one of them, please refer to the manual for OptiConnect. Now let's take a look at the scan data management page. With this, we can see what our scanners have been scanning and import and export data as well. There's a whole lot to cover, so let's take a look. From the main menu, I click on Scan Data. And on this page, I can see all kinds of information about the scan data. At the top, I can select which scanner I want to look at. And if I change it, I can see the information for that specific scanner. So let's switch back to this empty list. And if I have a product with a barcode on it, once I scan it, it appears in the list on the OptiConnect app. I can start scanning. In the item info bar, it will show you information on what was scanned, and it will use an open source database for that. Now for this product, the barcode is unknown. So if we want to integrate it with our own database, we can simply import a CSV product table to get more information. So I will click that button, and I have prepared a CSV export of my database, and I add it to my OptiConnect app. Now the first thing we need to do is select which column has the barcode in order to find what we scanned in the list. It tries to automatically determine which column is the barcode column, and here it auto-selected barcode for me, which is correct. So I'll press confirm. Then I can select which metadata columns I want to have. In this database, I am mostly interested in the description column and in the standard price and the sell price. So I turn on those columns and they will be part of the data management and the storage on the device itself. I will press confirm, it processes it, and now when I scan this item, it will tell me, oh, what you just scanned is a nasal spray that we sell for $4.74. If I take another product, I scan it, it says that is skincare for dry skin. So now my OptiConnect is fully aware of my specific database needs. And even if I close the app and open it again later, or if I start scanning and the OPN isn't connected, once it reconnects, it syncs back with OptiConnect, and all of the data is stored in a local SQLite table, so you don't have to worry about your barcodes going anywhere. It's all safely stored in the app. Now let's take a look at some of the configuration options for scan data. Once again, we can press on the small cog icon at the top right, and there are several options available. The first one is show summed quantities. If you have many articles that are used a lot, you don't want it to show every single scan separately, but you want it summed up. You've scanned this product 10 times, this product 5 times. So let's turn it on. Under products description source, you can see on mine, use the open database that is supplied with the OptiConnect app, or use the imported product table. So you can easily switch between the two. And at the bottom, there is fetch scan location. If I turn that on, the app asks me if I will allow my location to be used by this app. And if I say yes, then another piece of metadata is added to each and every scan, namely, where was the scan taken? So if I now go back to the list and I start scanning again, with the summed quantities, you can see that I don't get new items in the list, but just an incrementing counter. By default, the function key works as a delete button and it counts down. And if I take a look at a scan code and double click on the entry, I get more information about the scan, like what was the symbology? Well, what I just scanned was a code 128 barcode, and I scanned it at Wednesday 26th of June at 3:40 in the afternoon, and the location, the latitude and longitude, type them into Google and you will find Opticon's headquarters here in Hoofddorp. Now that we have a list of scan data and we want to share it with other applications or with the outside world, we can also export it. I can go to the quick export and press the cog icon to set up what we want to export. Well, I want to only export of the OPN 6000 I have just used, so I will click Next. What kind of a format do we want to export to? Well, I will use Microsoft Excel, a very well-known format. I want to show it as summed quantities, so I'll turn that option on. I want a header row so that I can more easily look up what each column exactly means. And I wanted to export the columns for barcode, quantity, the time and the date, as well as the description and the standard price and sell price from my database. So I can combine the information of the scanner's metadata and my own database's metadata. I'll click Next. All of the columns that I have just selected can be ordered in a list, so I can say which column I want where. Well, I'm happy with what it looks like right now, so I'll press Next. The time format for the scans can also be adapted to your locale. I like to use 24-hour time format and a day, month, year for the date. I will take a custom file name. For instance demo, and I will append a timestamp. And now everything in that database, its format, the columns, the order of the columns, the file format, has all been adapted to what I specifically need. And now all I have to do is simply click Quick Export, and all of those settings are stored, so you don't have to walk through the entire setup every single time, just once. I click Quick Export, it will download it to my file, and if I now open it with an Excel reader, I can see there are 3 specific barcodes. When I scan them, with which scanner, the description of that product and its price, everything that I wanted to see in the export is there. And that is how, with the built-in options, it is easy for you to get all of the scan information, import your own database and export it as a scan list completely to your wishes. You can find more information about the setup options in the manual. Now let's take a closer look at one of the important features of OptiConnect, which is to update your scanners. OptiConnect will automatically detect if there is an update available for your device, and it will show it with a notification in the main menu. You might have noticed that on my Manage Devices button there is a small red dot. So let's click it, and it tells me there is a notification for one of my 2 scanners. And if I click it, there is a button now available under the Locate Scanner button, Update Available. Now, take note of the OS version and application version, because those will update. And all I have to do is press Update Available, press Start Update when ready. If you need to connect your OPN to a charger to ensure that it does not run out of battery while updating, it will tell you. But since mine has a good enough charge, I can simply press Start Update. We hear a couple of bleeps, so it's been set into bootloader mode. You get a progress bar, and once it's filled in, it will update the firmware, reconnect to OptiConnect automatically, and we can use our scanner once again, and it's fully up to date. Make sure that you keep OptiConnect open during the update process to ensure for the best connection. If you close the app, the Bluetooth on your device might turn off, so just be sure to keep it on. If I now press Return and we go back to the list, you can see that the operating system version has gone to version 121 and the bootloader has updated to version 30. And that's how easy it is to update. You get a notification, you click a couple of buttons, you watch the progress bar go by, and you're done. Now we're going to take a look at connection pooling. If you have more than one user working simultaneously, you don't want the scanners to jump from place to place. You want to fix them on a certain device. You can do that with the connection pool ID. To get started, go to Settings and press on Connection Pool Settings. By default, the connection pool is 0000. You can click on Regenerate ID to make it generate a random code. If you press Reset ID, it goes back to all zeros. You could also click on each individual of the 4 digits to change it to something else. And if you're using a 1D scanner, you can click on Print 1D Code. It will bring you to OptiConfigure, allowing you to print out a 1D code. If you're using a 2D scanner, like the OPN 6000, you can simply scan the QR code on screen, and it will tell the OPN 6000, I want you to start pairing, but only to a device with the same ID, allowing you to link them very specifically to a device. So let me start by scanning the code on my Android device, and it will automatically look for and try to pair with my device. And there we go. If I go to the connected devices, it now has one item in the list. And I will do the same on this iPad. I will go to OptiConnect. Under connection pool settings, I will make it generate an ID different than what I have on my Android device. I will take the other scanner, scan the pool ID, and it will try and pair with the device. And if I look at Manage Devices on the iPad, I see that the other OPN 6000 is now linked to this device. Now, if I look for scanners on my Android device, I can make this one start looking for a new device. And if I put it in pairing mode, it will start looking. And since it has a connection pool ID, it knows exactly which device it needs to connect to. No manual connection required. It goes back to the iPad and not appear on my Android device. Now, if I go to pair scanner on my Android device, I can now find this device online ready to connect. And if I press the connect button, I immediately get a pop-up that says, no, this device is already assigned to a different pool ID. If you want to use it, you will either need to scan the connection pool ID that is here on the pair scanners list, or reset the unit by going to the EBLE, the Enable Bluetooth Low Energy code, and reset all of the settings of the device. Using the connection pool ID, it is very simple for you to assign OPNs to very specific devices and ensure that they do not hop around between devices, making it much easier in large-scale organizations to keep your scanners locked to the right machines. A new feature available on Android devices is the virtual keyboard. Virtual keyboard allows you to use a scanner as if it was a keyboard on your Android device, and it provides a more reliable connection than you have with a USB keyboard mode. To enable it, we simply go to the settings for Android. We select System, Languages and Input, and under On-Screen Keyboard, we can switch on OptiConnect as a keyboard. And now, if I go to an app like Docs and I press the keyboard icon, I can switch from the default input to OptiConnect. And if I start scanning barcodes, they are typed out as though you're using a keyboard. And at any time you can switch back to your normal on-screen keyboard by pressing the button, allowing you to easily switch between input modes. And this concludes how the virtual keyboard option for Android works. Now we will take a look at the application settings. We press Settings, scroll down a bit and go to the Application Settings menu. And here on an Android device, there's a new feature that allows you to keep running in the background. If I switch it on, it first asks me if I want to allow it, and to restart the app. So let's do that. And the cool thing about running in the background is that the OptiConnect app does not have to be turned on in your recent apps list in order for it to still function. It literally runs in the background. So let's take a look at it. If I press Scan Data, I see that for this OPN there is no information in its scan history. If I now press the button for Recent Apps and I close OptiConnect, there is no disconnection beep. And a new icon appears at the top with the Opticon logo. Basically all of the work that OptiConnect did, maintaining connections to your scanners, storing the scanned data, is all still done, but in the background. You don't have to remember to turn on the app. It is automatically enabled during startup of your device. So if you have integrated OptiConnect with other applications like an inventory management system, you do not have to turn on OptiConnect manually with each boot. So now let's take our scanner, take a code, and scan it a couple of times. If I return to the OptiConnect app and open it, and I press Scan Data, I can see that the scans were registered and stored in the database, even though I did not have the app running on my device anywhere in the foreground. There are two more settings under Application Settings, and the first one is Enable Scan Data. Normally this is turned on. This is the onboard database that stores all of the scans that have been reported by the scanners. Now you might want to be using your own application that has its own database and you don't need that information anymore. Well, it's as easy as turning off that slide, and the OptiConnect app will no longer store the incoming data on its own database. It just assumes that you will store it somewhere else or use it in your own app. And the last option under Application Settings is Enable Logging. If there are any connection issues or if there is a damaged barcode, you can use the log viewer to find out what has happened. And under the log viewer, you will see a history of issues like connection issues. And right now on my screen, there's nothing to see because the app is running just fine right now. And that concludes our overview of the OptiConnect app. There are many options for you to integrate OptiConnect with your own application, allowing you to format the scan data and the response back to the scanner from your application. If you want to integrate it, please refer to the user manual. You can find the link in the description below, or if you're already using the OptiConnect app, press the info icon at the top right of the main menu. There you will find a link to the user manual. If you need more help, you can contact Opticon support. Links and telephone numbers are in the description, or once again, under the OptiConnect menu, you can press support and find the information there. If we can help you, please contact us. We love to help you out with OptiConnect. We are very happy with this app. We hope you will enjoy using it as much as we do. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.